Okay, so looks like we just got an update. So this is Critical Videos and Fun here. Today, this is an update to a video that I've done with a person by the name RainbowRager. And I was talking about the video, I was in the video chat in the video talking about some stuff, mixing it in with Gen Z and Gen Alpha. Since, well, the problems that we're facing into that scandal of RainbowRager kind of tied into Gen Z and Gen Alpha with its internet usage. And I've also talked about in the video chat of how Gen Z and Gen Alpha have like some sort of internet addiction and how it started growing ever since 2019, where the pandemic started. And it kind of rooted into RainbowRager, since RainbowRager, I would assume, is also Gen Z as well. It doesn't have the birth year on the birthday, but right now I'm on the channel page right here, RainbowRager. You can see the video right here. So this is the video he posted of Fantasy Finale Episode 10, The Ups and Downs, where it's like, this is the video that I saw. It was pretty sad though, but I also looked in the community posts. And now right here it's just showing more miserable community posts. But look, it's also speaking in third person though. It's just, I started looking at this and I saw it and I think of it as, well, pretty strange though, because really, well, who would put their community posts into third person like that? I don't get it. So it then states that he just needs to go to another obstacle or something like that. I'm not sure. And then it just shows a picture of him feeling miserable on the like an image of a black background or something. Then I see in the community post Happy Halloween, and then it just shows him in the costume of the devil. I think its name is like, I don't know what his name was, but it was like some devil guy in his anime series of fantasy that like eliminated him and stuff. And the character next to him started crying and I was like, oh my god, that was bad. Because, well, I mean, of course it would be bad. It would be bad. So I didn't really think that much about it because, well, I thought to myself that, hey, maybe he could come back with another video, or maybe he could come back with another community post, ask someone how they're doing, ask what he's up to and stuff. But then, I started looking at the community post. Now I'm just restating back to my previous video about RainbowRager, but I looked at his community post. There's one that says, have you ever been so invested in a fictional story? There's also another one that says, imagine being that lonely that you write a story, create a bunch of characters, and a character that represents yourself to interact with them as a way to cope with the fact that you don't even have any friends. Imagine being that lonely. Basically just trying to make his viewers feel bad about themselves and stuff, because, well, some of them could be autistic, which for me, I'm autistic and stuff. I don't really have that many friends, but I cope with things like this as well, taking advantage, basically just trying to set some false reality. And then we look at the comments. There's one right here. This is actually a very common thing in autism. Okay, that is true. That is true. That is a really common thing in autism. That is true. Because I feel that way as well. I feel there's some sort of empathy to like fictional characters. It feels like something to do with autism. I feel like it has something to do with an autistic people or in the autism community, a high functioning autistic people. They tend to have this strong, tremendous empathy for fictional characters, but they don't feel that much empathy for a real person. So I think to myself, what is it with that stuff? Feeling tremendous empathy for fictional characters and inanimate objects is surprisingly common. Well, I mean, that is true. We look at the replies. I'm not lying. I'm sorry, but I'm telling the truth as far as I know. Do you have, sir? I'm autistic and confirm this. Same here. I'm also autistic and can also confirm this. For me. Yeah, basically just, trying to set some sort of bad reality to his viewers. And I started feeling really concerned about this because those community posts felt really concerning. It felt like that he was in some sort of crisis and stuff. And that's when I started making a video and tying it into the fact that Gen Z and Gen Alpha are struggling with internet usage, since this guy right here is most likely born in the Gen Z era and stuff, because he also made like a YouTube short right here that's like kids these days. And that short, how he grew up in a generation, Gen Z, that was like in unsupervised internet supervision and stuff, where the parents didn't bother monitoring children's experience with technology. Gen Z and Gen Alpha, within to that much internet usage, they're consuming way too much of the internet that they just don't even know what reality is anymore. They don't even know like what they're doing anymore. They don't have good attention spans. Their attention spans are constantly shortening down. They're being low. It just appears that the most likely problem with Gen Z and Gen Alpha, compared to what this guy had to go through, is that it's the internet. Because really, with this guy right here with his community posts, if all you're gonna do is just put these community posts down into your community tab, then that's enough red flag for you to just get off of the internet. Because unfortunately, like, I know it sounds harsh though, but unfortunately the reality is there are gonna be some bad people on there and stuff. But as long as you create like a good environment for your viewers to watch, then you will increase some fans. You will increase more fans. Sure, you'll have some people that are going to be mean to you, but I mean, you can always just block them and stuff, because that's literally what the block button is for and stuff. All right, so what I have to say right here, I think RainbowRager, what he's doing, I think it's a good step that he is improving on his art style. I do think it's also a pretty good step that he's getting on the internet, you know, actually focusing on positive things. I think that's a really great step and stuff. But all I have to say here is that RainbowRager is someone improving. I think he's doing a great job at, you know, doing the things that he's doing and stuff. But the only problem here that I've had in this video was the only problem I had in this video was that the massive focus on hate comments. Because, I mean, let's be honest, at the end of the day, it's not that much to worry about and stuff, because really, most of the time in the comments, it's positive. There's not really that much negative comments to see here and stuff, because I looked at the videos, and it's usually just a bunch of positive comments. I would say here, he is doing really successful at, you know, improving his content. He really is, especially the art style, though. But anyways, I think that's all I have to say here and stuff. So I talked more about this video. It's probably like a video chat or something. But anyways, that's all I have to say here. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace. Also, this is only for criticism and commentary purposes.